This is not just a metaphor. There is a literal portal in the energy field, one carved not by light, but by wound, and it must be closed before your transformation can begin. They don't talk about this in modern psychology. Or maybe they whisper about it, behind diagrams and diagnoses, but the ancient ones, they knew. The Egyptian mystics called it Nechatar, the shadow chamber, a pocket of energy in the soul body, torn open during moments of deep suffering, betrayal, abandonment, humiliation, loss. It is not merely a memory. It is a living wound that distorts light, bends vibration, and leaks your vital energy into dimensions you cannot see. I remember the first time I felt mine, not in a therapy session, not in a yoga class, but in the silence between two breaths, when I had nowhere left to run. It felt like cold wind behind my ribcage, and then a humming, like a door left ajar in the soul. And here is the secret. If alchemy has called you, it is because that portal, your portal, has been opened for too long, and you are bleeding energy into the past. You don't just feel tired. You are losing life force. You don't just overthink. You are spiraling in a trauma loop. You don't just lack clarity. You are viewing the present through a cracked lens. But listen carefully, because what comes next is not healing. It is transmutation. Alchemy does not heal wounds. It burns them into light. So if you are ready, truly ready, I will show you how to close this ancient portal. But first, a warning. This is not for those who cling to identity born from pain. This is not for those who want to be comforted. It is only for those who are ready to lose who they were. Because when you close the portal of trauma, the past will no longer recognize you. You will be free. Let us begin. A hands-on ritual. The closing of the portal. Find a quiet space. Sit or lie down. Dim the lights, or better, turn them off completely. You are not here to see with your eyes. You are here to see with your field. Close your eyes. Breathe in for a count of 6. Hold it for 3. Exhale for 9. Repeat this breathing pattern 7 times. 6, 3, 9. Let your breath dissolve into stillness. Let your bones become heavy. Let your awareness float behind the center of your chest, not the physical heart, but the energetic one. The portal lies just beneath the 3rd layer of the energetic heart field. Now, silently say, I see the portal. I feel what was left open. I am ready to close it. Not with fear, but with fire. Place your right hand over your heart and your left hand over your navel, and then hum, just one note, any pitch that emerges naturally. Feel how it resonates in your sternum. Let it vibrate down through your pelvis and rise into your skull. Keep humming for 33 seconds. If you do this correctly, a subtle wave will ripple through you like something just shifted deep beneath the skin of the soul. You may feel heat, tingling, or sudden tears. You may see images. Let them come. Let them pass. This is not the trauma. This is its echo being released. The science and the myth. Modern scientists call it vibrational entrainment, biofield discharge, neural recalibration, but the ancients knew it by another name, the folding of time. In Egypt, they believed trauma split time into fragments. One part of you stayed behind, always reliving the pain. That is the part the portal connects to. That is what drains you. When you hum with intent, aligned with breath and stillness, you collapse the timeline. You rejoin the self that was left behind. You call her home. In the Upanishads, this process is symbolized as returning the deer to the forest, the wild, frightened part of your being, finally resting in wholeness again. The signs of transmutation. If you've done this practice correctly, truly with focus, presence, and willingness, you may notice strange side effects within the next 72 hours. Asterisk. Old memories will arise not to haunt, but to fade. Asterisk. Sudden moments of silence will feel louder than noise. Asterisk. A warmth will pool in your chest during ordinary moments. Asterisk. Some people around you may distance themselves not out of harm, but because your energy no longer resonates with their wounded frequency. That's not loss. That's purification. You have just closed a gateway between timelines. And that, dear one, is the first step of alchemy. You have transmuted suffering into sacred sound. You are not who you were. Not anymore. If you felt it even once, your vibration is already shifting. Now, type in the comments. The portal has closed. The alchemy has begun. I am ready for more. Your words aren't just words. They are frequencies in the collective field. Together, we build a chorus of remembrance. Together, we awaken. There is a flame that does not burn. It sings. And only those who remember their origin can ignite it. There are things you were not taught about your body. They told you about organs, bones, blood, but they didn't tell you that within you lives an ancient flame, not metaphorical, but energetic. A vibrational current, so real, so alive, it was once considered more vital than breath itself. The Egyptians called it Ket-Ankh, the living fire, in the blood. In India, it was the inner Agni, the fire of spiritual digestion. In Tibet, it was Tumo, the hidden heat that melts illusion. You were not meant to live without it. But trauma, repetition, compliance, these things extinguish the flame, or bury it under layers of programmed numbness. The moment you close the portal of trauma, the body sends out a silent call. The flame may return now, and it does. But like any sacred guest, it will not force its way in. You must invite it, and you must know how. This is the path of activation, not of explanation. So, if you're ready, we will now rekindle the flame. The flame ritual, breath of the ancient fire. Sit cross-legged or with your spine upright. Bring your awareness to the space 2 inches below your navel. This is the seat of the flame. Place both palms gently over this area. Now breathe like this. Asterisk. Inhale through the nose for 4 counts. Asterisk. Hold for 4. Asterisk. Exhale with a sharp, audible HA, as if pushing air through a narrow tunnel. Do this 7 times. Each exhale must feel like you are breaking something loose from the core. After the 7th breath, whisper aloud. Return to me, flame of the first memory. Not to burn, but to awaken. Not to destroy, but to cleanse. I am not afraid of your fire. Now, inhale deeply, and as you exhale, visualize a small ember glowing in the lower belly. Orange, red, gold, not static, but alive. It pulses like a memory. It breathes with you. Let your hands feel it. Let your spine rise like a serpent waking up. You may feel heat. You may feel pressure. You may even shiver. That's not imagination. That's your biofield adjusting to a frequency it hasn't felt in lifetimes. You are not just sitting. You are becoming the altar. Why this matters, and why they hid it. When the ancient temples of Dendera, Luxor, and Karnak were active, initiates were not simply taught scripture, they were ignited. They would sit in geometrically aligned chambers, designed to resonate with the inner fire, to awaken it not through belief but through resonance. The chambers sang, the walls wept heat, the initiates vibrated. This flame was the foundation of their healing, manifestation, and perception. Without it, the body falls into linear time. It ages. With it, the body returns to spiraled time. It regenerates. But here's the hidden truth. Every flame must consume something to grow, and the ancient alchemists knew that something is identity, not personality, not soul, but the false self, the one built from reaction, from pain, from protection. So when you feel strange after this practice, when you feel like crying or laughing for no reason, when old roles suddenly don't fit anymore, know this: the flame has begun to eat. Let it. Side effects of ignition. Some will feel sudden bursts of creativity, not random, but targeted, like you've remembered what you came here to build. Others may experience dreams vivid, symbolic, or ancestral, as the flame pulls unconscious layers to the surface. You may also feel heat in unusual places. Palms, soles, spine. This is energy rerouting. Let it pass. Let it rise. Emotional releases may come quickly and without narrative. Let the body cry. Let it purge. Do not interrupt. The fire is not cruel. It is surgical. And just once, one true ignition can light a new life. One warning. One invitation. Do not do this ritual lightly. If you fake the breath, if you chant the words like a script, the flame will not come. But if your presence is real, even once the transformation begins immediately, you cannot reverse it. You cannot forget it. And once you are lit, you will begin to recognize others who carry the flame. You'll feel it in elevators, in eye contact, in silence. You are not alone. Now, if you have felt it, if the inner flame moved, even slightly, type below, "The flame is lit. I am ready to burn the false self. I am the alchemist now." And if you feel the call, share this video not as content, but as a signal. Your vibration might ignite someone else's. We are not here to awaken alone. We are here to burn together. It does not slither on the ground, but coils inside the spine. And it waits, not for movement, but for stillness. You've seen its image in 1,000 places: coiled snakes on ancient staffs, twin serpents rising up the spine of bronze statues, the Kundalini symbols hidden in Eastern temples, the caduceus mistaken for medicine. But what they never tell you is this: the serpent is not a force. It is a listener. It doesn't move with chaos. It moves with certainty, with silence. It waits for one thing: your inner stillness. And when that stillness is deep enough, wide enough, sincere enough, the serpent awakens. Not in fury, but in song. Its movement is not violent. It is rhythmic, like a pulse between dimensions. When it rises, it doesn't just activate your spine, your chakras, or your third eye. It reconfigures your entire energetic architecture. This is why most people never feel it. Because most people are too noisy, too loud inside, too distracted, too frantic to awaken, that they miss the one ingredient the ancients guarded with their lives: sacred stillness, the ritual of the listening spine. This is not a breath technique. This is not a chant. This is stopping so deeply that the serpent finally hears you again. Do this at dawn or dusk, the thin hours between light and dark. Sit with your back against a wall or a tree. Your spine must be supported but free. No slouching, no effort. Now for 1 full minute, do nothing. No breathing rhythm, no mantra. Just watch, not your thoughts, but the space between your thoughts. If you notice your breath, let it soften until it becomes almost inaudible. Now imagine this: a silvery blue serpent, coiled at the base of your spine. Not a snake, a frequency. It is not solid, it hums. It is not warm, it is ancient cold, like a glacier of awareness. Do not touch it, do not ask it to rise. Just feel its presence. Hold that awareness for 3 minutes. If thoughts come, let them pass like birds in mist. When you are ready, whisper, "I am still. I am listening. I do not seek to control you. I only remember you." Then bow your head slightly and release. That's it. And yet, what happens when the serpent moves? You may feel a subtle vibration at the base of the spine, as if someone tapped you from within. Goosebumps rising upward, even in a warm room. A low, electric hum behind your ears or neck. A sudden desire to cry or to laugh without reason. Do not panic. This is not awakening. This is invitation. The serpent is not a beast. It is memory of a time when your energy moved freely, when your spine was a ladder between earth and sky. And now, it begins again. But here's what most get wrong. They try to rush it. They use force. They seek explosions, light shows, psychic fireworks. But true alchemy is quieter than sleep. And the deeper the silence, the louder the energy becomes. Cross-cultural echoes of the listening serpent. In Egypt, the symbol was not a snake, it was the uraeus, the golden cobra at the crown of the pharaoh. But it was never about the crown, it was about the coiling, the slow rise of divine awareness. In India, Kundalini is often misunderstood as mere chakra activation, but the yogic texts warned, "She who rises too quickly burns the vessel." In Norse tradition, Jormungandr, the world serpent, coils around the earth, touching its own tail, not to threaten but to contain, to keep the energy field whole until the seeker is silent enough to break the circle. Side effects of listening. You may become uncomfortable in noisy places, not out of sensitivity, but because your inner field is tuning to higher frequencies. Time may warp during your practice. 10 minutes may feel like hours, or vanish. You may lose interest in old obsessions, even relationships. The serpent rewires priority through vibration, not thought. Unexplained bodily movements may begin, subtle sways, jerks, or head tilts. This is the energetic body releasing tension patterns. Let it flow. Most of all, you will feel a strange companionship, as if something ancient is walking just behind your breath. You are not imagining it. You've awakened the oldest ally in your being. You've remembered the serpent. And now, the real ascent begins. A whisper from the field. If you felt anything during this, if even one moment of stillness revealed a deeper pulse, type in the comments. I am listening. The serpent has stirred. The silence is sacred. And if this stirred something in your memory, share it not as a lesson, but as a signal. Those who remember will feel your frequency, and those meant to awaken will. We are tuning the field, one vibration at a time. There is a mirror that does not reflect your face, but your hidden frequencies, and if you dare to look, it will show you what you've been carrying all along. Most people think alchemy is fire, but that's only one side of the transformation. True alchemy, the kind whispered in temples and sung in the Himalayan winds, begins not with fire, but with a mirror. Not a physical one, but an energetic field that reflects your inner resonance back to you. In ancient times, initiates were brought to moonlit pools beneath sacred caves. They were not asked questions. They were told to stare into the still water, and whatever they saw was the truth. Because the moon does not create light, it reveals it. That's why your deepest traumas rise at night. That's why silence at 3 a.m. feels different than silence at noon. Because the mirror of the moon does not respond to who you pretend to be. It only reveals what is vibrating beneath the surface. And if you've ignited the flame, if the serpent has stirred, then you are ready to look into this mirror and see your energy for what it truly is. Not what you've been taught, not what you want to believe, but what is. The moon mirror technique. Reveal your frequency. This is a practice of presence and surrender. You'll need a quiet space, asterisk, a small mirror, asterisk, candlelight or moonlight, if possible. Complete emotional honesty. Begin at night. Darkness is the doorway. Sit in front of the mirror. Hold it close, at eye level. Place the candle behind or beside you enough to illuminate your face softly, without glare. Now, stare into your eyes, not your face, not your expression, only the dark centers of your eyes, the blackness that holds the stars. Hold your gaze for 5 minutes. No blinking, if you can. No shifting. Just observe. And now, ask silently, what frequency am I holding? What am I truly emitting? What do others feel when they stand near me but never say? Don't analyze. Just observe. You may see subtle changes in your face. This is normal. Your energy is responding. Old frequencies may appear in symbolic form, shadows, flickers, even a strange second presence in the reflection. Let them come. Let them pass. They are echoes. If tears rise, let them fall. You are seeing the energy body. You are seeing what was hidden even from yourself. The real purpose of the mirror. Every alchemist must pass through the phase of distortion. When the flame rises and the serpent coils, your inner field becomes stronger. It begins to push out all frequencies that do not match your new vibration. The mirror reveals this process. It does not lie. That's why so few dare to look. Because what you see may unsettle you. You may see fear you thought was healed. You may see grief that has no name. You may even see a version of yourself you thought had died. But listen, that is not regression. It is resonance calibration. The mirror is not punishing you. It is showing you what you are ready to let go of. And if you do this correctly, just once, the energy release can be so deep, it changes how people perceive you the next day. You'll walk into a room and someone will say, "You look different," but they won't know why. Because it's not your face that changed. It's your frequency. Echoes from across civilizations. In Sumerian texts, the goddess Inanna stares into the pool of Ereshkigal, seeing not her beauty, but her buried rage. In Egypt, the ritual of Wepwa Wet required initiates to stand before obsidian mirrors in darkness. not to find the gods, but to find their own forgotten soul names. In Japan, the Shinto myth says the sun goddess Amaterasu was coaxed out of hiding by being shown her own reflection. She did not recognize herself, and that's what broke her spell of fear. The mirror is not for vanity. It is for returning. Side effects of the moon mirror: heightened sensitivity to truth. You may become emotionally allergic to dishonesty in yourself and others. Dreams may become symbolic, prophetic, or archetypal. The mirror stirs the subconscious and calls up soul memories. Emotional releases may be triggered hours or days later sometimes, for no reason. This is normal. The mirror keeps working even when you put it away. You may feel more magnetic people will start responding to your presence, not just your words. This is a sign the frequency has shifted. In rare cases, you may hear whispers or voices just before sleep. These are not hallucinations, they are energetic residues surfacing. Let them pass. A soft, powerful closing. When the ritual is done, close your eyes. Whisper, "I have seen what was hidden. I do not fear my frequency. I allow it to evolve." Then breathe in deeply and blow out the candle. As the flame vanishes, imagine your old vibration fading with it. A new tone begins to ring. You may not hear it, but your field does. You have entered the next phase of alchemy. And now, type in the comments, "I have seen the mirror. I accept my true vibration. I release what no longer serves." Let this not just be a ritual, but a confirmation. Because when we speak our transformations aloud, we anchor them into this world. Share this video as a symbol not of vanity, but of vulnerability, so others may find the courage to look too. There is a gate that cannot be opened by hands, keys, or even sound, only by the space between two breaths. And once it opens, the wind that rushes through is not made of air, but of memory. You've been taught to breathe for calm, to breathe for balance, to breathe for life. But no one told you the secret. There is a breath that leads to the gate, a breath that isn't a breath at all. In ancient alchemy, it was called the breathless passage, the sacred pause between inhale and exhale, where the body stills and the energy shifts into another rhythm. In India, yogis speak of Kavala Kumbhaka, the breathless state that arises spontaneously in deep meditation, where the soul moves without the body. In Tibetan Dzogchen, the still point between breaths is referred to as the natural state, the point where thoughts collapse and the original wind arises. In Egypt, it was never spoken, only experienced in the sarcophagus initiations, where those ready to die before dying were placed in pitch-black chambers, not to sleep, but to stop breathing, just long enough to be reborn in vibration. This is not hyperbole. This is the gate of the breathless wind. And you, if you've walked this far, are now standing before it. The breathless practice, entering the still gate. Warning, this is a sacred technique. Do not perform it while driving, distracted, or under pressure. The results are real. Sit with a straight spine. Dim the lights. Absolute silence is ideal. Breathe in through the nose for 4 seconds. Hold for 4. Exhale gently for 6. Then, pause. Do not rush to inhale again. Just stay in that stillness after the exhale. Let your body relax completely into it. Do not force. Do not gasp. Let the inhale arise naturally, but only when it must. Then repeat. Do this for 9 total rounds. Now, after the 9th round, when you've just exhaled, enter the pause one final time, but this time, bring your awareness to your ears. Listen. You may begin to hear a soft hiss, a wind that is not wind. It may sound like a breeze across sand, or the gentle ringing of a shell held to the ear. This is the first sign of entry. You are at the threshold. The breath has paused. Time has thinned. The gate opens. What you feel next will vary. Asterisk. Some feel pulled upward, like the soul detaching from the skin. Asterisk. Others feel suddenly weightless, or frozen in timelessness. Asterisk. A few will feel a rush of energy through the spine that isn't theirs. It is the original wind, the breath of the ancient world. You have tapped into the energy stream that existed before language. You are not just quiet. You are in transmission. Why the wind matters. The body uses oxygen. But the soul uses memory. When you pause the breath long enough, the soul begins to remember its original rhythm. That's when past life echoes surface. That's when visions appear not imagined, but encoded transmissions from before this incarnation. That's when light activations can occur, with no outer stimuli. This is how ancient initiates received direct teachings from the field itself. No teacher, no chant, only breathlessness, and a whisper that is older than the stars. Cultural traces of the breathless wind. In Sufi mysticism, the phrase Nafaz al-Rahma means the breath of mercy, referring to the stillness in which divine truth descends. In Taoist alchemy, the concept of wu-wei effortless action is not about laziness, but about entering the breathless state where all doing collapses and pure essence remains. In Native American vision quests, the silent night is often described as the moment when the wind speaks with no voice, the space where the seeker hears their soul's first name. They all describe the same moment, the same threshold, the same gate. Side effects of entering the breathless gate. Time dilation. Minutes may feel eternal or disappear. Energetic stillness. Your entire body may feel frozen, not by fear, but by reverence. Downloads or inner visions. You may receive symbols, words, or sounds that don't make sense now but will later. Heightened intuition. After the practice, you may just know things about people, decisions, or paths. Emotional aftershocks. Pausing the breath pulls deep-rooted trauma loose. Tears may rise after the practice. Let them. They are purging lifetimes. The risk and the return. If you attempt this with arrogance, force, or expectation, nothing will happen. Or worse, your ego will hijack the stillness and try to perform spirituality. But if you do it with sincerity, even just once, the wind will come, and it will rearrange the map of your energy forever. You'll never breathe the same way again, because you'll know what lies beyond the breath. Close with the whisper of return. When the 9th round ends, sit in silence for 1 minute. Feel your body. Feel your breath. Then speak softly. I have entered the still gate. I have heard the breathless wind. I will never forget the silence. Now comment below, not for the algorithm, but for the field. The wind has touched me. I remember my original breath. I carry the gate within. Oh well. This collective declaration sends a ripple through the vibrational grid, telling the ancient world, we remember. Share this video like passing a candle. The gate is not yours alone. It opens wider with every seeker. There is a sound not heard with the ears, but felt in the bones, a sacred frequency that dissolves illusions, peels away false identity, and reveals the raw vibration beneath the mask. Let me ask you something no one dares. Who are you? When no one is watching your performance, who are you beneath the name, the job, the smile, the survivor, the spiritual identity? The truth? You don't know. Not fully. Because for most of your life, you've been taught to perform, to wear a mask forged by culture, protection, shame, and habit, a vibrational shell that keeps you safe, but also separate. Separate from your power. Separate from your purpose. Separate from your true frequency. But in the ancient schools of sound alchemy before the pyramids were ever built, there was a vibration known as Na Tuesday Mek, the sound that breaks the false self. It wasn't sung for beauty. It wasn't chanted in harmony. It was sung to shatter the shell, and once heard, once truly felt, it dissolves every role you've ever pretended to be. Are you ready? The mask-shattering practice. The primordial note. Sit in a quiet space, alone, no mirrors, no distractions. Breathe slowly, in and out, 5 times. Then place both hands over your chest. Let your awareness drop into the center of your sternum, the midpoint between throat and heart. Now, with your mouth closed, let a low hum escape through your nose. Choose a pitch that vibrates in your chest, not your head. Keep the tone flat, stable. Let it vibrate your ribs. Let it shake your mask. Do this for 3 full minutes. Don't control the sound. Don't judge it. Don't beautify it. Just hum, as if you are singing to your original face, the one before life sculpted you into someone acceptable. Now pause. Place your hands in your lap. Close your eyes. You may feel tears, laughter, shudders, blankness. Let it come. You may feel lost. Let that feeling come too, because the mask is melting. This is the beginning of remembrance. Why sound shatters so deeply? Modern science has finally confirmed what the ancient mystics already knew. Sound reorders matter. Cymatics experiments show how different frequencies reshape sand, water, even flame. But your body made of water, vibration, and memory responds even more drastically. When you create a pure, unfiltered tone from your core, you're not making music. You're disrupting illusion. You're collapsing false energetic patterns, belief systems, trauma signatures, emotional armor, using nothing but your voice. This is why ancient initiates had to earn the right to sing Na Tuesday Mek. Because it wasn't about the note. It was about what would be destroyed after, and what would rise in its place. The echoes of the maskless cultures. In the Dogon traditions of West Africa, elders would initiate youth with soul frequencies, tonal harmonics whispered into their ears during dreamlike trance, shattering inherited trauma before adulthood. In the early Vedic texts, there is mention of the Anahata Nadam, the unstruck sound, which is not sung by the mouth, but heard within. Those who heard it were never the same. In pre-dynastic Egypt, priests did not use words in healing, they used vibrational breaks, sounds that destabilized the auric field just enough to allow truth to flood in. And today, those practices are gone from the surface, but the sound remains, inside you, waiting. Side effects of the shattering sound. You may feel like you've lost yourself. After practice, this is good. The false layers are peeling away. People may respond to you differently. Some may feel confused around you, as if you're unfamiliar. Your inner voice may grow stronger, not louder, but more certain. Emotional surges may occur unexpectedly, sudden laughter, crying, or rage. Do not fear this. These are echoes leaving the system. Most importantly, you may feel naked, vibrationally, like there's nothing left to hide behind. Good. That means the sound has touched your field. That means you're vibrating closer to truth. A moment of sacred honesty. After your practice, sit in absolute silence for 2 minutes. Then whisper, "The mask has cracked. I am not who I pretended to be. I do not fear my original tone." If you felt the resonance even just once, if something inside you trembled without understanding why, then speak. Type in the comments, "I have shattered the mask. I remember my sound. I return to the original vibration." And if this stirred you, share this ritual as a call, not for followers, but for those who are ready to break, those who are tired of echoing lies, and ready to hum truth. One tone at a time. There is a water that doesn't quench thirst. It rewinds time. A liquid not of this world, but of memory, stillness, and sacred undoing. And once it touches your field, you are never the same. Most people speak of healing as moving forward, but in true alchemy, sometimes healing means returning, not to pain, but to the moment before the pain. The original point, the pure state, where your energy hadn't yet been distorted, where your soul was untouched, your vibration was whole, your field was unfractured. The ancient ones called this the waters of reversal. It's not a metaphor. It is a real energetic frequency, one that behaves like water but is not of earth. In Egypt, it was Nu, the primordial waters that existed before anything was created, the essence that reversed chaos into divine stillness. In Vedic cosmology, it was Apus, the vibrational water from which all form and memory rise. In the Andes, shamans speak of water lines of light that flow between soul timelines, and when touched, they undo trauma at the source, not just the symptom. You cannot see this water, but you can feel when it flows through you. It's like a memory you didn't know you had, being bathed in light. And today, we call it vibrational restoration. But in the temples, they called it rebirth, the ritual of vibrational reversal. This is not a normal cleansing. It's not about washing. It's not about letting go. It's about returning. To do this, you'll need asterisk, a bowl of water, ideally spring or filtered, a quiet room, asterisk, A candle, asterisk. A deep willingness to remember the you that came before the wound. Place the bowl in front of you. Light the candle and place it behind the bowl so that its light reflects through the water. Now, close your eyes. Breathe 7 times in a slow spiral pattern. Inhale for 4, to hold for 4, to exhale for 4, to hold for 4. Box breath. Feel your awareness spiral inward. Now open your eyes and look into the water's reflection, not your face, but the light passing through it. Whisper the following: I call back the part of me that was lost, before the pain, before the mask, before I became what they expected. Now, dip your fingertips into the water, close your eyes again, and touch your third eye with the wet fingers. Let it sit, let it cool. This is symbolic, but it's also energetic. Water holds memory, light holds code. When combined with focused intention, you are not just doing ritual, you are accessing another timeline. Now sit in stillness for 3-5 minutes. Let your inner body rearrange. You may feel a flood of images, or you may feel nothing. Both are valid, because the reversal begins at the subtlest layers. And just once, one moment of still connection can reverse years of soul disorientation. Why this works, and why it's feared. Energy, when traumatized, breaks into fragments. These fragments get buried beneath the conscious mind and continue to influence thought, behavior, and identity. Reversal water doesn't just cleanse you, it calls back those fragments, like rain returning to the ocean. This is why ancient healers refused to use water carelessly. They knew that activated water, charged with light and focused breath, could unlock ancestral distortions and sometimes trigger temporary chaos as the energy realigns. That's why this practice is not for those who want comfort. It's for those who want wholeness, even if that means seeing what was forgotten. Cross-cultural traces of reversal water. In Egyptian myth, the god Thoth inscribed names into the water of Nu, undoing curses by dissolving their vibrational signature into the primordial field. In Tibetan practice, mirror lake rituals were used to help souls pass through karmic cycles by seeing their pre-trauma essence reflected in rippling water under moonlight. In Sufi tradition, it is said the prophet received revelations while cupping his hands full of night water, staring into it not to see the world, but to see God within himself. The water remembers, even if you don't. Side effects of reversal. Emotional regression. You may feel emotions from younger versions of yourself, especially the version that was silenced. Temporary disorientation. Some report feeling between timelines, unsure of who they are for a few hours or even days. Lucid dreams or soul visitations. The water acts as a portal. Ancestors, past lives, or soul fragments may appear to you. Spontaneous laughter, tears, or inner stillness. These are signs the reversal is working. Energy field rewriting. You may begin to lose interest in goals, patterns, or relationships that belong to your wounded self, not your original essence. Let it fall away. The water is doing its work. A final reflection after the ritual. Once you've completed the stillness, dip your fingers in the water one last time. Touch your heart. Whisper softly, I have returned to my essence. I am no longer who I was. The waters remember, and now, so do I. Then pour the water outside into the earth, a plant, or natural ground. Let it carry away the old resonance. You are clean now, not washed, but restored. If you felt the flood, if the tears came from somewhere deeper than memory, type in the comments. I have entered the waters of reversal. I have seen who I was before the wound. I am whole. And if someone you know is lost in the layers of themselves, share this video like a mirror made of water, so they, too, may remember their first vibration. There is an eye that does not blink. It does not see with light, it sees through light. And once it opens, you no longer perceive reality. You pierce it. By now, something inside you has changed. The portal is closed. The flame is lit. The serpent is listening. The mirror has spoken. The breath has thinned. The sound has shattered. The water has reversed. And now the eye opens. Not your physical eyes, not your imagination. The true eye. In ancient Kemet, it was called the Ujjat, the whole eye of Horus, not merely a symbol, but a frequency, a portal of vision that transcends matter and reveals what is hidden behind the form. In Vedic teachings, it's the Ajna chakra, but modern interpretations have diluted it into aesthetics. The original seers warned, when the third eye opens, it is not light you see, it is truth, and that can be terrifying. N4. Tibetan masters call it the eye of mind, the place where awareness sees itself with no narrative, no mercy, and no filter. It is not gentle, it is not passive, it is the blade of sight. And it only opens when you have been broken enough, peeled enough, to no longer fear what you might see. Are you ready? The third eye activation ritual. The pulse of piercing sight. This is not a visualization. This is a frequency key. Sit upright. Do this in dim lighting or total darkness. Close your eyes. Place your right index and middle finger gently on the space between your eyebrows. Now breathe deeply in the following pattern. Asterisk. Inhale for 5 seconds. Asterisk. Hold for 5. Asterisk. Exhale slowly for 10. Do this 9 times. With each exhale, imagine pressure building in the middle of your forehead, not from you, but within you. On the 9th breath, whisper, I do not want illusions. I am ready to see beyond the veil. Now drop your hand. Focus only on the darkness behind your closed eyes. You may begin to notice, asterisk, a pulsating sphere or tunnel, asterisk geometric patterns, asterisk, a single point of light that flickers or stretches, asterisk, a sense of being watched from inside yourself. Let it happen. These are the early stages of inner vision returning. It may be mild today, it may be overwhelming, but it is real. The eye is opening. What happens when the inner eye activates? This is not about psychic powers. This is not about fortune telling. This is about perception collapse. The moment your inner field begins to decode energy behind the surface of reality. Suddenly, asterisk, people's words become irrelevant. You see their vibration, asterisk. Environments feel different, some soothing, some toxic, even if nothing happened, asterisk. You hear things between the sounds, asterisk. You notice patterns you used to walk past. You no longer observe a reality. You penetrate it. This is why the eye was so feared. Because once opened, you cannot go back. You can close your physical eyes, but the inner one keeps watching. Historical echoes of the eye. In Egyptian tomb rituals, the eye of Horus was painted on the side of coffins to allow the soul to see the path through the underworld, not metaphorically, but vibrationally. The eye guided the energy through dimensions. In the Yoga Sutras, Patanjali wrote of Nirvikalpa Samadhi, the pure seeing where subject and object dissolve and only witnessing remains. In the Mayan tradition, initiates meditated in pitch-dark caves until the jaguar eye, activated, described as a burning orb of light behind the forehead through which ancestral beings were seen. This isn't imagination. This is the original sight. Side effects of the eye opening. Flickering light behind closed eyes. This is the eye blinking. Pressure, buzzing, or vibration in the brow area. This is energetic activation. Heightened intuition, but more than just knowing. It becomes inescapable awareness. Difficulty lying even to yourself. The eye burns through distortion. Emotional discomfort when watching manipulation, violence, or cruelty. You are seeing more than behavior, you are feeling the energy beneath it. One final warning. The eye cannot be opened by force. It only opens when you are no longer seduced by illusion. If you chase visions, you will see only echoes. If you allow silence, you will begin to see truth. And sometimes, the truth will burn. But once you have seen, once the eye has opened, you will no longer fear the dark, because you are the light. Close with the gaze of remembering. After the ritual, sit in silence. Let your body settle. Then whisper, I do not need to see to believe. I believe because I see. The eye is open. The illusion is undone. Now type in the comments. The eye has opened. I pierce through illusion. I carry the light of vision. And if this awakened your sight, share the video like a lantern in a cave. Someone you know is still in the dark. They are waiting for your light. There is a maze within you, not made of walls, but of thoughts. And the deeper you go, the more you realize this isn't where you think. This is where you're trapped. It doesn't matter how many times you meditate. It doesn't matter how calm your voice sounds when you speak of spirituality. If you haven't entered the labyrinth and walked through it, your mind is still your master. Let that sink in. The labyrinth of the mind is not a metaphor. It is an ancient structure, built from trauma, beliefs, repetition, fear, and cultural hypnosis. And while you may think you're making decisions, you're actually echoing old patterns in an energetic hall of mirrors. The ancient alchemists knew this. They didn't try to escape the mind. They entered it blade in hand to find the Minotaur at its center. And what was the Minotaur? The false identity made sentient. The voice in your head that says, "You're not ready. You're not worthy. Oh, this isn't safe. People won't love the real you." That voice has been fed for decades. Now it rules the labyrinth. But today, we walk in. The labyrinth ritual. Confronting the inner Minotaur. Find a silent space. This practice is best done lying down, in total stillness. Place one hand over your heart, and the other on your solar plexus, just above your navel. Close your eyes. Begin to breathe as if sinking like each breath drops you one floor deeper into yourself. Visualize a dark maze forming around you. You are not afraid. You are the seeker. Now whisper, "I enter willingly. I seek what I have feared. I will not be deceived by thoughts. I will walk until I find what watches me." Let the maze form. Follow it in your mind. Do not guide it. Let it guide you. You may see shifting corridors, faces, or rooms. You may hear thoughts or voices that aren't yours. You may feel resistance. This is the Minotaur. Keep going. When you feel a heavy presence, something large, unmoving, ancient, you have arrived. Now, speak directly to it, aloud or silently. "You were born to protect me, but I no longer need protection from the light. I release you now. I reclaim the center." Breathe in deeply. Hold for 3 seconds. Then exhale sharply through the mouth. Do this 3 times. Feel the energy shift. The labyrinth begins to dissolve. Not because it's destroyed, but because you've remembered the way out. Why this ritual is feared, even by the awakened. You can chant, journal, affirm, but if the unconscious mind still holds authority, your vibration remains looped in lower patterns. The labyrinth feeds on unconscious repetition. It loves your overthinking. It adores your obsession with control. It thrives on your self-doubt disguised as realism. But the moment you consciously enter the maze, it begins to lose power, because light and awareness are the sword and torch of the alchemist, ancient echoes of the inner labyrinth. In Egyptian myth, the apex serpent lived in the underworld maze. Ra had to pass through it each night, not to fight it, but to remember the sun within. In Greek lore, Theseus used a golden thread to escape the labyrinth. That thread is not a rope, it is presence, the memory of who you are when thought ends. In Buddhist teachings, the cycle of samsara is a mental maze, not a physical one. The only way out is direct insight into the illusion of self. Side effects of labyrinth walking. Sudden moments of extreme clarity, followed by temporary confusion. This is the old mental grid breaking. Nightmares or surreal dreams involving caves, mazes, or chases. This is the mind processing its old loops. Resistance in daily life, the ego trying to pull you back to the familiar. Let it pass. Random waves of nausea, heat, or lightheadedness. You are burning through mental constructs. A feeling of emptiness, not depression, but spaciousness. This is the silence of the Minotaur's absence. When you find the center, after the ritual, do nothing for 7 minutes. Lieg still, listen, breathe like space is inside your body. Then say, "I have walked the labyrinth. I faced the voice. I reclaimed the center." Now type in the comments, "I found the center of the maze. The Minotaur no longer rules me. My thoughts serve my truth." If this stirred something, if you felt the shift in the mind's grip, even for a moment, share this message. Because many are still stuck in their inner maze, calling it personality. They need your torch. There is a chain that binds not your body, but your energy. It stretches across timelines, lifetimes, bloodlines, and words never spoken aloud. You may not see it, but you feel it. Every time you hesitate, every time you shrink, every time you forget what you truly are. You felt it, that invisible tension, like a tether you didn't choose, pulling you back when you're about to leap. It's not your fear, it's the echo of an old voice. A curse spoken not with magic, but with repetition. You'll never make it. People like you don't succeed. You're just like your father. You're too much. You're not enough. These phrases became vibrations. And vibrations, when repeated, become energetic chains. But here's the hidden truth. Most of them didn't start with you. They started with someone in your bloodline who was also wounded, silenced, broken, forgotten. That pain became a pattern. That pattern became a voice. That voice became your thoughts. But those echoes can be broken. And when they are, you don't just free yourself. You free everyone who came before you, and everyone who comes after. This is the work of the alchemist, the ritual of chain, severing, echo transmutation. You will need a quiet space, asterisk, a piece of thread or string, asterisk, a candle, your voice. Sit on the ground. Tie the thread loosely around your wrist, not to bind, but to symbolize. Light the candle and place it in front of you. Now, bring to mind one phrase, one belief, one internal voice that has held you back. Something that feels ancient, not because it's true, but because it's been repeated too long. Speak it aloud. I have carried this. Insert the phrase. Feel the weight of it. Now respond. This is not my truth. This is not my origin. I return it to the field. Place your hand over your heart. Now hum a single tone, one note while staring into the flame. Let the hum grow louder. Let it rise, even if your voice shakes. Hum until you feel something shift in your chest. Then untie the thread. Hold it in your palm. Whisper, I sever the echo. I dissolve the chain. I am no longer the voice that was never mine. Drop the thread into the flame. Watch it curl. Watch it turn to nothing. Watch the silence that follows. That silence is not emptiness. It is freedom. Why this is the true work. Most people seek activation, awakening, power, but they are still bound by echoes, bound by mother wounds, father patterns, cultural hypnosis, religious scars, generational pain stored in their bones. They meditate over chains. They chant under chains. They heal just enough to function, but never enough to fly. But once you dissolve the echo, once the chain turns to ash, you'll feel your energy rise like it's no longer carrying weight. That is what freedom feels like. Not adrenaline, not escape, but return. The ancients and the echoes, in Egyptian ritual, voice-breaking ceremonies, were used to sever the resonance of a deceased ancestor's pain that had infected the family field. In African spiritual traditions, ancestors were called forward not only to guide, but to release the living from inherited burdens that were never meant to be passed on. In Celtic myth, the banshee was not a ghost. She was the embodied scream of unresolved lineage, heard only by those chosen to break the cycle. Side effects of echo severing. Sudden lightness like something left your chest, belly, or spine. Unexplained emotion, tears, shaking, deep sleep, or bursts of peace. A strange distance from people you used to emotionally react to. You no longer respond to their echo. Heightened ability to speak truth, even when uncomfortable. You're no longer filtering your vibration through inherited fear. Dreams of ancestors or strangers handing you gifts, opening doors, or walking away. These are symbolic confirmations, final words to the chain. After the thread burns and the flame settles, place both hands over your heart and say, I carry only what is true. I echo only what uplifts. I am the beginning of a new lineage. Now type in the comments. I have burned the chain. The echoes no longer define me. I am the first of my kind. And if someone in your life is still carrying inherited pain unknowingly, unwillingly, share this. Not to teach them, but to free them. one link at a time. There is a final seal not to bind you, but to complete you. It marks the moment when you are no longer seeking transformation, because you have become it. This is the part most seekers never reach, because they get addicted to the process, to the journey, to the healing, to the constant breaking and reassembling. They believe they must forever be becoming. But ancient alchemy tells a different story. The true alchemist is not someone who constantly changes. The true alchemist is someone who remembers, who, after the portal has been closed, after the flame has been lit, after the serpent has stirred, the mirror shattered, the wind passed through, after the mask has fallen, the water has reversed, the eye has opened, the labyrinth walked, and the chain burned, returns to themselves, returns to stillness, returns to wholeness. This is the final ritual, the seal of return, and it does not require movement. It requires a single moment of total presence. No seeking, no chanting, no healing, just being. The final ritual, the seal of completion. Find a space you associate with safety, a corner of your room, a tree, a floor beneath an open sky. Sit or lie down, eyes closed or open, it doesn't matter. Breathe, but not to calm yourself, just to witness the breath that was always there. Now, speak the following. I am not broken. I do not need to change. I do not seek to become. I have returned. Let those words ripple through your field. Feel your energy settle like a lake after a storm. This is the moment of anchoring, not a ritual for change, a ritual for being changed. You may feel nothing. You may feel everything. That is not the point. The seal doesn't scream. It clicks. And once it does, your frequency is locked in not as who you should be, but as who you've always been. The nature of the seal. In alchemical tradition, every transformation ends with a seal, a symbolic stamp of completion that prevents the energies from unraveling. In Kabbalistic mysticism, it is called the tzimtzum, the divine contraction, the sacred containment after expansion. In Taoist inner alchemy, it's the return to the root, the moment the soul spirals inward and rests. In Egyptian cosmology, it was the jade pillar, the spinal symbol of resurrection, representing permanence after transformation. You've gone through the fire. Now you hold the gold. Don't rush back into fixing. Don't rush to teach. Just hold. This frequency is you. Signs the seal has set. Deep peace without explanation, even while chaos surrounds you. Sudden neutrality where old triggers used to live. A sense of completion, not boredom, but enoughness. Others may begin asking, what's changed about you? Even if you said nothing. The return of simple joy in breath, in nature, in being. You are no longer in reaction. You are in radiance. This is not the end of your path. It is the start of embodiment, the final whisper. After this moment, there is no grand ritual, no explosion, no chant, just you, and the presence you now carry. Let your body remember this silence. Let your field remember this balance. And whenever you doubt again, not if, but when you do not need to climb the mountain again, you need only return here. The seal is within you now, always. Now, as we complete this journey together, write in the comments not as a viewer, but as an awakened field. The portal is closed. The energy has been transmuted. I have returned. I am the alchemist. If this 11-part ritual has stirred something ancient in you, if you feel the shift, the click, the seal, then share this video not to spread information, but to transmit frequency, to become a living gate, a walking flame, a vessel of reversal, and a mirror for those still wandering the labyrinth. You are not alone. You never were. But now, you remember. Welcome home.